We've got Super Mikateta. He knows exactly what we need. Kieran at the back. Gabby in attack. Arsenal on the way to Champions League. Right, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. I love that chant. I really, really love that chant. Not the message, really. I love the message as well, but I love the way you sing it. I've been trying to learn it all day, and somehow I'm not a musician, but I got that. Try to sing with me. Try to make sure that you learn the chant. Of course, it's a new Arsenal chant for Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal team and how we've been performing and whatnot. In this video, let's get let's get the likes up. Of course, the level there, 200 likes is our target, but we're gonna be discussing the injury update, not transfer injury update, but the injury update will be I'll be letting you know which players are we having back. Edin Ketia is set to stay. Arsenal are planning on one last shot to convince him to stay at Arsenal. Saka would be okay to put on the Arsenal armband. Yet again, William Saliba was not allowed to make a mistake, according to Thierry Henry, and that was really embarrassing. That is according to him. And we will also be discussing Kieran Tierney and the future right back and left back that Arsenal are really, really trying to sign this summer. Why not help me get to 100,000 subscribers? We are at 37.4. Make sure when you watch this video and you are new, you give me a damn subscription. Please do that. Right, let's start off with the injury update around the club, and first and foremost we'll start off with Ben White. Yesterday Mikel did report that the player actually suffered a hamstring injury in the Manchester United game. Now what I have is that the player will also or might also be out for the Leeds game, so we might see Rob Holding and Gabriel Magalhaes continue for the Leeds game. Leeds is a tricky side, especially offensively. You've got to give them the respect they deserve, but I think we can beat them. They attack too much. They also open themselves too much. I'm not really scared about Leeds and everything and everything like that. I think Arsenal will be able to beat Leeds at some point in time. But of course, the huge update there around Ben White is that we might not actually have him as soon as possible like we anticipated. We might not have him as soon as possible like we would have wanted. So Mikel did confirm yesterday that we are, a couple of processes are gonna take place, scans, and it's gonna be assessed to see how long it's gonna be out. And of course, if the scans prove any time, if the scans give us any time, how long is it gonna be out, then I'll be coming here on Cossy's Arsenal podcast, and I'll be able to let you know. On Bukayo Saka's injury update, at the moment, it looks good. At the moment, he looks set to play against Leeds United. According to Mikel yesterday, he said it was only, he had a simple injury, but then he was also very, very tired. But for me, it looked like he was simply tired. He was, he's suffering from burnout already. This season, he's been very vital for us. He's been very, very vital for Arsenal. Very vital for England in the Euros as well. I think he needs a breather. If Arsenal can and Mikel Arteta, if they can give him that game against Leeds just to rest, probably bring him on into the 70s or bring him on in the 80s. If Arsenal are not winning, probably in the 50s. I mean, it's a game where I think Arsenal should start him on the bench. But otherwise, it looks okay. His injury is not that one that's going to keep him on the sidelines for that long. Tomiyasu as well. Very, very positive news on Tomiyasu. Just like Mikel Arteta reported yesterday, it is not serious. He had not played 90 minutes for a long time, and he was fatigued. It was kind of fatigue. He's not actually he's not having a recurring injury. The issue is not that serious. So we expect Tomiyasu, we expect Saka to be available for the North London Derby and also for that Leeds game. Important and very crucial week for us coming up. We have Leeds over the weekend, Tottenham in midweek, and then over the upcoming weekend we'll play, I think, Newcastle. So those three games will decide where Arsenal will finish this season. If we win all of them, we have qualified for the UEFA Champions League. If we lose all of them, like we lost 3 in a row, we are out of the race. And if we can at least make sure that out of those games we win 2 and probably draw 1. We will go into the last game of the season, yes, under pressure, but importantly leading the top 4 race. So in terms of those 3, that is what I can provide as at the moment. But Arsenal fans, be okay, be fine. Those lads are really doing very well. Now, the huge issue is with Kieran Tierney. And Mikel Arteta and Arsenal feel that Kieran Tierney's injury update is not it's not one where we are going to be thinking or speaking about it on the short-term basis, but then we have to start thinking about it on a long-term basis. Now, according to Football on London, they have said that Kieran Tierney's issue has prompted Arsenal to go in the market and try to look for a player, at least one, that can be as versatile as Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So they're looking at a player who can play at right back and also at left back. It seems like Kieran Tierney is of a concern. He starts at least 15 games in a campaign and averages at least averages around 24 games fit in a campaign. Now that is really, really very low as compared, if you compare to the other fullbacks in the league. And then of course, out of 38 games, you're only playing 25. It's a little bit not enough. So Arsenal are looking at someone in the summer, according to Football London. They will be going in for someone who can at least back up Kieran Tierney better than Nuno Tavares. And of course, with the injury update around him and Thomas Partey, they are progressing. They are recovering, but we do not expect them, at least not this week. Moving on to Granit Xhaka and the captaincy issue. Xhaka was asked whether he feels okay to take on the Arsenal armband probably next season, and he said, "Look, I'm okay now. I'm in a better position. I can take on the Arsenal armband." And this is where I'm going to ask you people: do you think Xhaka should be given a second chance? Should he be given a second chance to take on the Arsenal captaincy yet again? I mean, this is a player that, if we look at both sides of the coin, this season has been absolutely outrageous for us. Really, one of the reasons why our midfield has been that solid, and also I think discipline-wise, it's been a little bit better. I think there's been an upgrade. I don't know what you think, but then this is the same man that clearly loses his head. At times, his leadership could actually lead the team into turmoil. A player that threw the Arsenal shirt as captain onto the ground. A player who I think should be very, very far away from Arsenal. If it were not for any kind of ridiculous politics that happened in the summer that all of us do not understand, he should be playing in Italy, in Rome, under Jose Mourinho. And he clearly told us last summer, "I want to play for Mourinho. I want to go to Roma and whatnot." And we all didn't understand how that transfer didn't actually happen. So should then Arsenal just think he's become a great guy again? He's become a great player again. Let's just give him the captaincy, or should we keep him where he is at the moment? My opinion, there, lads, is a player can reform. I mean, reforms do happen, but the example that we will have set would be ridiculous. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang gets to break the rules, and then we banish him, and then we kick him out, into isolation until he gets, he moved to Barca on a free. We even cancel his contract. And then Xhaka does the same things, and then he gets a clean slate, and then he's now captain again. It won't make sense. It would absolutely not make sense. With the Arsenal captaincy, I've always wanted Kieran Tierney, but of course you know me. I want my captain to play 24/7. I want my captain to play 38 games in a campaign. I want my captain to be always there. And I would rather give it to Odegaard than Xhaka. Honestly, I would rather give it to Odegaard than Xhaka. I would give it to Rob Holding than Granit Xhaka. Look, I've always thought the captaincy means a lot. I think Xhaka is the leader. Xhaka, he's been at this team for some time, and he's not one player that we should just trash away. But then we've got to think. We've also got to think: is he that good? Is he that reformed? I mean, I'll let you answer that in the comments below. Eddie Nketiah could stay at Arsenal following his very, very good performances in the last 3 games. Mikel Arteta is trying to tempt Arsenal into begging Eddie Nketiah to stay. Now, as far as I know, Eddie Nketiah's mind is already made up. He's trying to impress all the teams out there, all the clubs out there, to give him, I think, that lead role, when he signs for them. Now, Mikel is convinced that there is a good player, there is a good goal scorer in Eddie Nketiah, and they're trying at least one more time to ask him to ask and plead with him to stay. Look, with Eddie, I'm gonna say this: great performances for Arsenal against West Ham United and Chelsea. Great performances, but in my own opinion, Eddie should be back up at a club like Arsenal. I mean, it's not about 1 or 2, 3 games. Good games. It's about seasons. It's about a season, right? Divock Origi sits on the bench for Liverpool, and then when he's called up for any game, whether Wolves, whether Everton, in the dying minutes, he secures the points. He doesn't start. So for me, that's it. If Eddie's gonna allow himself to be a Divock Origi, keep him 100%. Keep him. But if Eddie's gonna be that player that presses to ask for game time, and he wants to be the lead striker, and then he can't give you 20 goals in a campaign, lads, the standards also matter. Yes, we love the player. He's been there. We've absolutely been too harsh on him. I understand all that talk. But then would Eddie start into Chelsea? Does he start in Liverpool, City? Does he get in there? If he doesn't, and that's where we want to be, and we want to be ruthless, because all of you have always been speaking, we need to be ruthless, then this summer is going to be ruthless, and the upcoming summers are also going to be ruthless. Because, look, there is a time when these players that we think are good will have to be replaced by better, right? And it hurts. Right? It really has when you look at a player like Saka probably being replaced by a player who's better, down the road, and you feel like, he's done a lot for us. We cannot actually disrespect him like that. But that is the harsh reality, right? That is the harsh reality about football, especially modern football. You're either good or better or the best. You cannot be below par. So with Eddie Nketiah, I don't want even to get involved in it. If Arsenal feel like they want him to stay, let them do whatever they want. I hope that doesn't sabotage our plan for the 2 forwards that we're trying to sign in the summer. I don't want to see Gabriel Jesus backed by Eddie Nketiah. That is not UCL quality. That is not world-class quality. That is Arsenal replacing directly. Eddie Nketiah replaces Eddie Nketiah, and Gabriel Jesus replaces Alexander Lacazette, and we stay where we are. Right? That is not the upgrade that we want to see. And finally, Thierry Henry has been speaking about William Saliba, and he's made a very, very harsh comment about the team and Mikel. And he said, it's embarrassing that William Saliba was not given a chance to make a mistake. This is where, I think he makes a lot of sense. He says he was not even given a chance to make a mistake. He was not given a chance to prove himself, let alone a chance to make a mistake. And look, we've talked about William Saliba all the time. I'm not really going to talk about him so much. But I think Thierry Henry has a point. As an ex-player, yeah, I mean, I really want them as far away as they can from Arsenal and impacting the day-to-day running of the club. But at times it helps. I think he's right on that. He didn't deserve that. William Saliba didn't deserve that. But of course, he's coming back this summer, so we are excited to see what he can provide onto the table. One thing I've loved about him ever since he went to Marseille, he's matured a little bit. I saw his interview, I think this year, and he was speaking about how he had fallen off a cliff, and he said, look, since the beginning of the year, my performances were not that good. And we saw the same thing with Thomas Partey. Players who can demand more from themselves, those players are quite unique because they've got the self-drive, and that self-drive can be used to push the team. Honestly, I would be very glad if he gets integrated in this Arsenal side. That is the update around the club. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and Cossy will be back later.